ஒரே ஒரு 5 லிட்டர் இதய மந்த்ரா கடல் எண்ணெய் பேக் ஒரு மாசம் முழுசுக்கும் அத்தனை சமையல் முடிச்சு விடலாம். இதய மந்த்ரா.
प्रिय सहोदरी सहोदरन्मारे नमस्कार. I know you have been waiting for a long period today here. It was more than 2 hours almost now. But sometimes it happens. We cannot blame anybody. Because 50 years back, if we just try to peep into it, we will understand what was the period of that black era. It was a very big blow to the democracy in this country. We have been telling whole world that we are the largest democracy in the world and deep-rooted democracy in the world. But when Indira ji came to power, she was quite acquainted with all the things and she was knowing what is to be done here to remain in power till her last breath. She was knowing that. And when the atmosphere in this country started beginning against her, she also knew what is to be done for this. And so she imposed an era called emergency. That was a black, dark spot on our age-old democracy. I remember here what Winston Churchill had said when in the British Parliament Freedom of India Act was to be passed. Churchill had opposed this. He said, Indian people do not deserve democracy. They do not deserve any freedom. They should be slaves of Britishers. That is what Churchill had said. Many people had opposed him. And he was proved wrong many a times and always. But in the year 1975, when the emergency was imposed in this country, all the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to leave, freedom to move, everything was curbed. That time many people felt Churchill was correct. But it was correctness, his wisdom was only for few months. Afterwards, India rebounced back. The people of India came out again to prove that we are Indians and we are deep-rooted and we have democracy in our blood. That is what we proved again in the year 1977. So from March 1975 to March 1977, this period of 2 years was definitely a period of all brutalities, horrifying days of this country. In fact, nobody wants to remember those. Many of you were in jail that time. But most of you do not even know what had happened that time. I was in jail along with my father in Goa. Both of us were there together in the jail. We never knew when my father was there and when myself was there. But we met somewhere and both of us were astonished to see each other there in the jail. That was an emergency. That was atrocity. That was brutality of Indira Gandhi. Because her very seat of the chair of Prime Ministership was shaken, She wanted to have power till her last breath. And so she was disturbed. You all remember on 12th of June in the year 1975, she was disqualified to be MP. Allahabad High Court had passed the judgment. She was disturbed. How can a judge pass a judgment against me? Because the Gandhi or Nehru dynasty was here to rule forever. That was their contention. Nobody can challenge us. But there was one judge by name Sinha. Justice Sinha passed order against her. And she was disqualified for corruption. Not for any other thing, for corruption. She played many mischiefs in the election campaign and corrupt practices. Used all government machinery for her election. That was all written in the judgment. Indira Gandhi said, nothing doing. I cannot be dislodged. I cannot get down. But there was opposition within the party. The people were also there. People wanted that she should step down. But she did not. And ultimately, when the Jayaprakash Narayan, Loknayak Jayaprakash Narayan, under his leadership, Lok Sangharsha Samiti was formed. This was just mentioned here by my earlier speakers. It has got very detailed account in the book itself. The Lok Sangharsha Samiti was there. Under the banner of Lok Sangharsha Samiti, throughout the country, all people, they came out against the emergency and protested. Satyagraha was done. And almost 1 lakh, more than 80,000 RSS and Jana Sangha people were arrested and put behind the bar. There were other party members, no doubt, but very few. But more than 80,000 persons, which were from RSS, which were from Jana Sangha, that time it was Jana Sangha, they all were arrested, put behind the bar, no trial, nothing. There was MISA, Maintenance of Internal Security Act, and there was another act called DIR, Defense of India Rules. Rules were there. And what was mentioned in that? Because you are a threat to the country, threat to the Prime Minister, you are arrested and put in jail. That time I was in college, just doing my BCom Part 1. And that time, how I can be a threat to Indira Gandhi's seat, I did not understand that. But this was not only my case, this was everybody's case. And what brutalities we have suffered here. What horrifying days were those. All those days are such horrified. And all those days were so brutal. Indira Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi were ruling the country. Both of them, the son and the mother, they were ruling the country. So when there was a big rally in Ramlila Maidan, at Ramlila Maidan in Delhi, on 25th of June, Indira Gandhi was shaken. The rally was led by none other than Jayaprakash Narayan. Jayaprakash Narayan was in fact a Congress leader earlier. He had supported Indira ji also. And afterwards, he had in that time also supported work against RSS and Jana Sangha also. But his mind had changed. He came to know only these people can save the democracy. The people from RSS and Jana Sangha. It is his statement. It is a public statement written in his biography also. What, because of Nanaji Deshmukh's contact with Jayaprakash ji, Jayaprakash ji said, because I was in Bihar, I saw all those documents. He has, his house is in Patna. I had gone there 2-3 times. I saw his biography, I saw his writings. His speech is there. If RSS is communal, call me also communal. This was Jayaprakash Narayan. And he came to know when the contact of Nanaji Deshmukh was with him that RSS and Janasangh cannot be called as communal. These are the true patriots of this country. This is what Jayaprakash said. And when Jayaprakash was addressing that rally in New Delhi at Ramlila Maidan on 25th of June of 1975, Indira Gandhi and her all cronies, they thought there will be 10 to 20,000 people gathering there. But the gathering was more than 1 lakh of people had come there. And Jayaprakash Narayan announced, gave warning to Indira ji, to Congress and all the cronies of Congress that Janata aayi hai, Simhasan khali karo. That was the slogan given by Jayaprakash ji. People have come now on the streets. You come down from your seat, come down from your throne. Janata aayi hai, Simhasan khali karo. That was the slogan and that was the warning given by Jayaprakash ji. And Jayaprakash ji was speaking the very intention and will of people. People were fed up with what Indira Gandhi had done there. All were fed up with the emergency. And then came the emergencies, all sort of satyagraha during that. As I told you, more than 1 lakh people were arrested from RSS and Janasangh. Other parties too were there. CPM was there. CPI was as usual supporting Congress. CPM was opposing the Congress. So, all these people were there and all these people after about 2 years in the year 1977, elections were held. In that month, elections were held and all the election people, all the political parties, they came together. The political parties fought together and Janata Front was formed. Janasangha, Bharatiya Lok Dal, that was when it was of Charan Singh. Then came Samajwadi Socialist Party and then came Congress organization. The faction was away from Congress. Indira ji against, it was Morarji Desai and later on Jagjivan Ram Babu also. All these fought against them. CPM supported. It was, you will just laugh at it and it is astonishing to understand. CPM and Janasangh were contesting elections together. And today we have a different picture in Kerala here. I remember in Mumbai, there was Ahilya Ramnekar. Ahilya Ramnekar was CPM's leader. And all our Sangha and Janasangha people worked for her. And she got elected that time. Because that was the necessity of the hour. That was what very much needed that time. So we forgot everything and we came together. Even in Kerala, Trivandrum here also, or in Kerala, other places, CPM workers were brutally beaten. Even our present Chief Minister, Pinarayi Vijayanji also was beaten. But other factions in the Congress Communists did not come in their protest of it. He was left alone there. There were many instances throughout the country like this. And ultimately we won the election. We means Lok Sangharsha Samiti. And they decided that something is now coming, brewing up. That time, if you go through the statistics of the electioneering voting pattern, you will be astonished to see what was that and why was that again. All people, all leaders were inside jail. They were not able to come out. They were not able to come out and campaign for the candidates who were against Indiraji's Congress. But people have decided, people of this country who are basically considered as illiterate, uneducated, uncultured, all these people, they came out and voted for democracy against Indira's dictatorship. That was a great thing in this country. It had never happened. People came out on the streets and they voted against Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi lost the election. Sanjay Gandhi lost election. Vidyacharan Shukla lost elections. Everybody of Congress leaders, they lost the elections that time. The Janata Front, then it was converted into Janata Party. It won the elections under the leadership of Morarji Desai and Jayaprakash Narayan. Jayaprakash Narayan said, I don't want to become a part of government. You now run the government. That was his greatness. But Indiraji even took him to task. When he was in jail, it is believed, I do not know, but it is believed that he was given purposely wrong medicines. And after coming back, within few years, Jayaprakash we lost him. But Indiraji had this type of courage to doing anything. She had brutalities. But ultimately, people of this country, they came out in such a large number and they said, we don't want Indira Gandhi's dictatorship. We don't want this. We want again democracy. Again, the church was proved wrong. Because common people who never knew what is politics, who never knew what is L.K. Advani and what is all other people, Vajpayee, what was George Fernandez, they never knew. Only thing they wanted to uphold was the democracy of this country. Because in our culture, democracy is deeply rooted in our body, in our blood itself. That is the value of our elections. That is the reason why after all these years, we are having elections to elections, elections after elections, without any impediments, without any obstacles. Because people of this country are democratic. We may say that during emergency in the year 1977, the leaders were so great and they came out and because of them we won the election. No, it is wrong. The truth is that the people, the common person who sells some fruit on the streets, who comes out and have a haircut for you, who comes out and do something for you on the streets, he came out and he voted for democracy. We all must thank them permanently. Just imagine if that time elections during 1977, Indira Gandhi had won the elections, what would have been the fate of our all people? We would have never seen outside world. We would have been rotten there in the jails. There would have been no democracy in this country. But this credit, full credit, 100 marks go to our common people, common voter of this country. We all must always salute that person. And now that we are here again, celebrating the democracy and remembering the dictatorship, we all have to celebrate it, but we also have to see what is happening. People that time, Indira Gandhi's emergency was saying us, there is no freedom of speech. Even the Supreme Court that time, when the Chief Justice was Ajit Nath Ray, he was the Chief Justice. He said, it is his judgment, he said, there cannot be freedom to life also during emergency. So any police officer can come here, shoot you and go away. He was not supposed to give any reason. That was emergency. And surprisingly, our Chief Justice of India appeared this. That time, I do not know. He had been brought specially from Kolkata, from Bengal, by Indiraji, superseding all other people, all other justices. He was made the justice there, Chief Justice. He had to give the verdict in her favor. Whatever she did, she was correct. Now, after 50 years, what is the reason of having all these, just revising what had happened? Because in democracy it is said, vigilance of the voter or the people is the permanent solution for all the problems. We all have to be vigilant. We never thought that Indiraji will bring emergency, but she brought. And afterwards we have seen how the people are here freely speaking, talking and moving here and there. That time, now even the oppositions in the ruling party and the other parties, our opposition are there, they always come out and say, our voice is suppressed. We are not allowed to speak. We are not allowed to speak. They come out on the street and they speak and tell us that we are not allowed to speak. This, I do not know what sort of intentions and contentions they have. Now, here, we also have to look at the problems. Why the people in the power, they feel that all the rights should be converted into my rights. People's rights should be converted into my right. Why the people in the power feel so? That has to be decided, that has to be thought of. Today we have brought this book that is on emergency, 1975 to 2025, 50 years. That book gives us some lesson. That book teaches us, whenever there are people in the power who feel that nobody else can exist, we are here, we are the power. We will see that you are not given any voice to speak. Even today's program, I did not understand why there was opposition to speak. Is this an emergency, undeclared emergency in the country or in the state? If you are speaking something, you must allow everybody to speak. Listen to that. And if you have really some substance, counter that. But not allowing anybody to enter the hall, not allowing the governor also to enter the hall, is this a democracy? Are we really in the age of democracy or Indiraji's democracy? That democracy. We don't have tolerance. Sahishnutta. Do we have it or not? We must tolerate. I remember one sentence from French philosopher by name Voltaire. He said, I disagree with you with everything that you say. I disagree with everything that you say, but I would rather die in defending your right to say it. I would rather die in defending your right to say it. I must be allowed to speak. You must be allowed to speak. Those sitting in the power, they must be allowed to speak. There has to be there. But why this confrontation? When I came to Kerala, I publicly said, it is not my nature to have confrontation every time. But confrontation, not having confrontation, doesn't mean that I will be compromising. There cannot be compromises. What is my thinking, what is my ideas, what are my perspectives, what are my perspectives? These are my perspectives. I don't object to yours. intolerance is not the ethos of this soil. It is not the ethos of this culture. We have to come out, talk, we have to discuss. That is what I have been telling everybody. I don't want to target anybody. But this type of emergency cannot be tolerated. It cannot be. We all are Indians, we all are brothers and sisters. Let us come. If you have different opinion, I have different opinion, let us come and discuss and do something. But doing such things is not pardonable. It cannot be carried away. It cannot be carried forward also. So that is what we are here. Emergency has given us a lesson. Whatever you want to say it very loudly. Say it very loudly. That is what emergency has given us a lesson. After 50 years of emergency, let us think again. Where are we? Where do we want to go? Whether we want to have emergency again and again. Vigilance of all the people. That is in Sanskrit it is called satarkata. That alertness of all the people is very much necessary always, all the time. Otherwise we will be put to dust. We will be put to ruins. That is what we want, and I hope you all have gathered with that intention, that courage, and that destination within you. So let us march ahead with all this. We don't have enmity towards anybody. I don't have any political enmity with anybody. I am not a political leader. I was just, otherwise I would have come here and at the dot 5:30 and do this and that. I could have done ruckus also, but I did not want that. Because today's program is a different program which gives us some lesson to march ahead with democratic principles, and that is how we are committed. We all are Indians and we are committed to democracy. That is what I want to say. Nandi.